So welcome back to the channel, guys. We are once again on the 2012 Camaro, and today we're going to be upgrading to the 6-piston front and 4-piston rear Brembo brakes that were commonly found in the ZL1, CTS-V, and some other big brake kit cars. Now, we ask you not to judge us too harshly. We filmed this video back in 2017. This is one of the first videos that we actually filmed for the YouTube channel, but never got around to editing it. Please take that into consideration. Regardless, all the content is still good. It's just a little bit rough, but everything is there that you'll need to know how to do this upgrade on your car. And as always, we will have the parts linked down in the description, and we appreciate when you go through those links. Without any further ado, let's travel back in time to 2017 and show you how to upgrade to the big Brembo brake kit. Hi guys, welcome to the Sunday Drive. Today we're going to be upgrading the brakes on my 2012 RS Camaro to the big brake kit from the ZL1 and CTS-V. Now, we're going to be upgrading all 4 brakes today. A lot of people just do the front brakes. We're also going to be doing the rears as well as stainless steel brake lines from Goodrich and the ZL1 fluid reservoir. So we're going to be showing you guys how to do all of these upgrades step by step today. Now I'm really excited about doing this because I've had these guys sitting on a shelf for a couple years getting painted. As you can see, I still have all the bits in here from when they got painted, but they're finally ready to go on the car, so let's do this. All right guys, so because we're replacing the calipers, we need to drain the brake fluid completely out of the system. We're also replacing the brake lines as well, so we don't even need to try to keep the fluid in there. There is a tool you can buy that'll crimp down on it as soon as you loosen your brake line, but because we are replacing everything, we're gonna just be draining all the fluid. The first thing we're gonna do is pop this guy and put this liter bottle on there. All right, so this one's pretty cool. I picked this up, it's from All-Star Performance. It's just a simple bottle, but on the one side it has a magnet. You could easily make something like this yourself, but it wasn't very expensive, maybe 15 bucks if that. And you can clip it right there so you're not gonna be making a mess. All right, so now we're gonna just loosen this up slightly so that we can drain it out. Now normally you don't want to ever let your master cylinder run dry, but because we are changing the master cylinder and changing all the brake lines over to stainless steel, we need to have all the brake fluid out of the car. So you're going to want to get all your fluid out of this master cylinder using a syringe. If you don't have that, you can just pump it through the brakes, but this method will be a little faster instead of having to pump it out from your calipers. All right, so here's some of the brake fluid. That's what brake fluid looks with 80,000 miles on it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you have a manual Camaro, the clutch fluid and the brake fluid share the same reservoir, so that's going to make your fluid a little dirtier, and you should definitely change it more frequently than 80,000 miles. We're not going to be doing a flush on the clutch fluid. We're just going to tie the feeder tube from the master cylinder to the clutch off so that we're not getting any air bubbles in the clutch system. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to fully bleed the clutch system. So we're just gonna, every once in a while, swap the fluid in the master cylinder with a syringe, and that over time will fully refresh the clutch fluid. All right, so this line right here is the line that's going down to feed your clutch system. So we're gonna be tying this line off, basically just unclipping it and then holding it up higher and sticking something in the end so nothing comes out of it. But that's where your clutch is fed from the master cylinder. All right, so now that we've bled most of the fluid out of the caliper and the brake line here, we're going to release this retaining clip that's holding the brake line up here. This is a 10mm bolt you're going to remove. So we've already removed the 2 bolts from here, so we're going to just slide this guy off now.
See if anyone gets shot with a piston, just like last time.
All right, so we're just setting that down in there. All right, so there's a retaining clip right here. Remove that, and then we're going to undo the top connection of this brake line because we're going to be replacing this with the stainless steel line. Definitely have a bucket or something underneath because there's still probably some residual fluid in the line. That just pulls out. All right, so you're going to hold the brake line steady with your 14mm and then loosen this top bolt. While the fluid continues to drain, you're going to remove your brake caliper bracket. It has 2 18mm bolts on the back side that you're going to have to loosen up and remove. It'll just come right off. So this is what your front brake pads look like with 80,000 miles, if you drive like me anyway. I can't believe they still have life left on them. They're not even completely through down to that groove yet. Next, we're going to remove the rotor. You got to remove the retaining bolt using a T30 Torx bit. Before we put the big brake kit onto my car, I want to show you guys how drastic the differences are between the stock RS Camaro brakes and the ZL1 brakes. So this is your stock rotor right here, and just look at the size difference here. We can set it on top here. You got almost an extra inch all the way around, so a lot larger there. And the big difference to me is the brake pads. This is your stock brake pad. You just got that contact area right there. The new one, you got all of that. A lot more real estate to stop your vehicle with. And then obviously the caliper difference as well. This is the stock single piston caliper and the new 6-piston caliper. You got a lot more stopping power over here for sure than there. Plus this is just gonna look a whole heck of a lot better. It's gonna really fill out the rims. This one, it looked like a little baby out of place in there. This one's gonna look the way the car was meant to look. Now, one thing I wanna mention, there is a 2-piece rotor you can get for the ZL1. It is significantly more expensive, it's also heavier. Now, one of the benefits was that this single-piece design had a clicking problem. As you were going down the road, there was clicking occurring. Supposedly, by adding white lithium grease to this backing plate that goes up against your hub, that will eliminate the clicking noise. So this is lighter and it saves you money. So to me, this was the more obvious answer, just trying to save a little bit of money overall. And as long as this white lithium grease stops whatever clicking noise is there, that's an easy solution. Just put a lot on there when you go to install it on your car, and hopefully you're good to go. So the next thing we're gonna do is install the stainless steel brake line. Now Goodrich actually labeled these, so it's very clear which brake line goes where. This is the front right, so front driver's side. They provide you with new banjo bolts as well as the retaining clip that we pulled off the top there. Any hardware you're gonna need that connects to this brake line, you're gonna have new components to go in. Keep in mind that there's a flat spot right here on the top part of your new line, so that's going to only go into the existing bracket one way. The flat spot on the bracket is facing out towards you when you go to put it in. So with that flat part facing out, I'm just going to slide that right up in there. And then your new line is going to go down into that. So the stock dust shield right here and here is going to need to be trimmed because it interferes with the new caliper. You can purchase a shield for the ZL1 that would bolt onto here. I'm just going to go with the cheaper option, reuse most of this shield, just trim off a little bit of the corners here. So we trimmed off this metal right here as well as down here. And I'm just going to touch it up with some Rust Tough enamel just to make sure it doesn't start rusting on me. So here's the new rotor. We're going to coat this whole inside area here with white lithium grease. Again, this is twofold. It makes it easier to come off in the future. It won't rust to your hub. Also, this will supposedly eliminate that clicking noise, which I mentioned earlier. We'll be very liberal with this. Any excess will just squeeze out. And you can put the locking screw back in. Again, it's a 30 Torx bit. Alright, and then for the drain plug side, it's 10 millimeters. And then whenever you're working on brakes, if you're ever putting new calipers on, these I did get used. I bought new rubber plugs for the drains. So all 4 pads are identical. They all have the same metal tab at the bottom right, depending on your perspective. So it doesn't matter which side you go to put in. I'm going to coat the back with some caliper grease. Alright, so now that you have it lubricated, be very careful not to get any on the pad surface itself, as that will corrupt it. You're going to just slide this in from the outside. Next, the center pin is going to go in right through here. You're going to want to lubricate here and here because the pads are going to slide in and out on this surface. You don't need to use a ton of this, just enough to cover it. Now this is going to slide in from the outside. And on the other side, you're going to have 2 washers and a bolt that are going to go on. You have these 2 pins. One's going to go up here, one down here. Make sure you lubricate either end because the pads are also going to be sliding on this. And then you slide this in from the inside. And then just take a rubber mallet and beat that in the rest of the way. So we have the top pin in, the middle pin, and now you're going to slide your bracket in place. So you're going to go underneath of this top one right here, and you're going to go down so that this cross member is on the bottom side of your center pin. And that's going to press down, and you're going to take your last pin that we've already lubricated, slide that in, and you're going to bend that down and go over top of it. So the final step on your front brake setup is to take the newly supplied banjo bolt that came with the stainless steel brake lines, or your old banjo bolt if you're putting the stock brake line back on. You want to make sure you put 1 washer on either side. So there's going to be 1 washer on the nut end and then 1 washer on the opposite side of the delivery line. As you're putting this on here, make sure your brake line is not going to interfere with your wheel. Your wheel's going to be right on top of here, so just make sure you have a pretty nice tight fit up against your caliper. So this is a 14mm nut. And there you have it. So there's a couple benefits to the stainless steel brake lines. One is that it's more resistant to any road debris. It's not going to deteriorate over time due to weather conditions like the rubber hoses will. So these are going to last a lot longer. But the main reason that people install these is the performance. Under aggressive braking, your brake fluid heats up, and as that pressure builds up in the hose when you apply the brakes, you're not going to have that consistent, strong brake feel because the hose is expanding slightly, so you're losing some of your force to the brake line itself instead of it all being applied to the pads. With the stainless steel brake lines, even if the fluid's hot, and when you're braking, they're not going to expand nearly as much. It's almost negligible. It is negligible. So you're going to have a much more consistent brake feel under aggressive driving. We're at the rear of the car now, so we're going to show you how to change the rear brake line. Basically the same process as the front. You're going to have 3 bolts and a retainer clip right here. Alright, so now what we're going to do is just quickly remove this right here. So again, you want to line these up to make sure that the distance between where the clip is here and the original is the same, so that everything lines up properly. So we're going to start this guy. Just going to get it hand tight. Alright, so we got that in there. Now we're going to quickly swap this guy out so that we minimize the brake fluid loss. Now you're going to want to put this retainer clip in there as well. Alright, so if you have your e-brake on, which you always should when you're working on vehicles, we're going to need to release that now so that we can remove this rotor. Make sure your tires are chocked and everything's secure so that your vehicle's not going to go rolling anywhere in case you were relying on it. Yep, so you can see this is what engages when you apply your e-brake. So that rotor definitely would not come off if your e-brake was on. Alright, so if you've been paying attention, we have a problem now. The new rotor is not going to fit with this stock dust shield. Now, if you want to change your dust shield or get rid of it entirely, you actually have to remove the hub because it's mounted directly underneath all of this. So that's a huge pain in the butt. We're not going to do that. We're going to go and cut around the edge and keep this on here. So let's see how that goes. Now because you're going to be putting out a lot of sparks while you do this, I suggest taping up along the edge here just to avoid damaging your paint at all from the sparks that are flying off of this, or any debris that could come off as well. So Pete's got this all grinded down for us, trimmed off. So as you saw, we kind of cut, made slices, bent it up, and then trimmed those slices off, and now it's ground down. I'm just gonna put some paper towels behind it and go along and spray paint it just so it doesn't rust. Now that should be the hardest part of the rear brake change. So now we're just gonna put everything back together. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching all the way through to the end of this video. Again, our apologies for how rough it is. It was one of our early attempts at making a YouTube video. Couple things to note. At this point, you do need to bleed the brakes, refill all your brake fluid. We do have a video showing how to upgrade the ZL1 master cylinder already up on the channel, so be sure to check that out. Now, my apologies, we couldn't find a clip where we actually removed the rear caliper, so you probably noticed that that portion of the video was missing. However, it's pretty much the same process as removing the front caliper, so we still felt the video had all the content that you would need to do this install. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. A lot more content on my 2012 Camaro up on the channel and more videos coming, so be sure to stay tuned and hit that subscribe, and we will see you next time.